times.
Rob squared. No, hold on. Rob squared?
Rob squared?
No, I'm doing the Russell Wilson. Rob squared!
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
Let's ride!
Oh! Yeah, Rob Square Country. That's right.
Yeah, that's your country.
That's right.
I had to kind of do the promo video. You know, it's almost like gotta plan it out, right?
Rob Square Country.
Because we're so phony up in this. Yeah.
That's right.
No, and if you don't know what we're referencing, it's the Russell Wilson thing, and we'll put a clip up. It's real rough.
Let's ride.
Broncos.
Let's
country.
ride.
Perfect.
Okay.
One more time. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
And everyone's the rumor of him is teammate. You think he's a likable guy, and he is. He's just phony.
Yeah.
Phony.
Well,
Phony baloney.
He's married to Sierra, who is a public super, like, so everything about their image has to be curated, almost like the Kardashians. Like,
Right.
He's involved in that,
Yeah.
The reason that he's getting made fun of so much on social media is because he's so involved with it with his wife. So
Right. So, all right, Rob squared.
that's right.
Let's try. Nice. So this is the tight end episode. We the last one was poolside, right?
Sorry.
Poolside. We're doing ADPs. We're going through all 4 positions, early ADPs to get a gauge where these guys are going. So real quick on tight ends, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who has the tightest end of the tight ends?
Ooh.
If you know what I'm referring to.
I think Gesecki. I think his tight end has not been broken in yet. I think
all of them have nice asses. Now you got to ask me the question because I asked you. You said Gesecki. So you asked
sure.
me.
Well, do you want me to ask the question, or do you just want to tell me who you think?
You asked me the question.
Who has the tightest end?
Now it's hard for me to pin him down to just one because I kind of like them all.
I don't know. I guess I sort of like them all.
Oh, okay. Gary?
No, that's an Office Space reference.
Oh.
Michael Bolton when he's on the spot with both
Oh,
the guys.
songs?
Yeah,
What's
he's
your
like,
favorite
what do you like? He's
Bolton
like,
song?
well, I kind of like them all,
Yeah.
right? So now what's weird is, believe it or not, now what's
That's good.
funny is we
I
just
like
came
that,
from Erica, my fiance's bridal shower. So
Wonderful.
if you
Awesome
notice why we're kind of dressed well, we're not wearing our fucking cheesy
Well,
ass
you're
white
wearing
shirts.
your work stuff.
Well, yeah, it's a nice work shirt, and you're
And
dressed up. This guy's dressed well
I
dressed.
unbuttoned.
He shaved. Show your head.
Okay.
He
sure.
shaved. Look at this
Yeah.
guy. He's tan. He's looking real good, man. If there was single girls there, he would have slayed that shit. If I let him. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know either.
So, anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she had a nice outfit on. She was wearing that little jacket, Erica.
She did look great.
I'll put a picture of her up here. It was good.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
What's funny is it was one of those outfits. It was almost like a sundress kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you can't wear a bra with those things.
Yeah.
So she had to wear like nipple tassels. No, sorry, nipple tassels. No, she had to wear nipple covers.
Yeah.
Nipple tassels would not been classy.
Yeah, you're disqualifying me from the conversation.
Oh.
So I can't talk about.
You can. So she had to like cover up her nipples with like this little thing, like
I didn't notice.
Not tassels.
I didn't notice.
yeah. Well, she was wearing a nice little like jean jacket, which is cool.
I thought she
little
looked.
chilly
I
outside.
thought she looked beautiful.
Right. Well, she did for sure. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, she did. I had a boner the
But
whole time.
her nipples, I didn't notice.
It was up in my
Maybe
waistband the whole time.
because
Yeah.
the pasting
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I had a boner the whole time though.
I saw. No, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're sitting down so much.
All right. So we're gonna get into tight ends here.
Hey.
But tight
This is
end,
my best
my
man.
tightest
You were-
end, it's
you were-
got to be Kyle Pitts.
You think so?
He's young. He's African American. Like, he's got to have a nice.
So
temper,
this is
like.
the joke part of it still.
Yeah, still
Okay.
joke part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Isn't everything a joke here? This won't be because this is gonna be some great ass tight end fucking info for y'all here. All right. So we're gonna go through here. I'm gonna kind of do it in tiers based on what I think are tiers, but generally the tiers of tight ends. You know, usually there's the top 3, there's the next 3, and then there's that middle fucking bullshit of 6 through 12.
I'll say, outside of to me, the last 4 years have been Kelsey and everyone else.
Right.
Like that.
Andrew's kind of been there. Kittle's kind of been there.
Kelsey is the tier.
Yeah, he is.
Kelsey's tier
He's the
1.
Yeah.
And then legit, it's a crapshoot for everyone else. So,
all right, so
I'm
I'm gonna
excited to
start
see
with
what you have to say.
I have two guys in the top tier just based on last year's production because Mark Andrews was the number one tight end.
Yeah.
So first tier here: Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews.
Okay.
We have Kelce going at 14. This is NFC ADP, and we can go through some of. We've already done a couple best balls.
Is this full PPR?
Half point.
Half point.
Not like tight end premium. So
Yeah.
Kelce 14, Andrews 19, number 1 and 2. I feel like they're a tier.
19.
Yeah, 19.
Okay.
They're a tier, the top two guys, right? Like, you know, you don't like Andrews apparently, but Andrews did have something like 109 catches last year and like 10 touchdowns. He's always been kind of a touchdown guy, not a volume guy, and he actually killed it more so with Tyler Huntley than he did with Lamar Jackson. Remember that like 4 weeks that Lamar was out?
Yeah.
Dude, Andrews
Towards
averaged
the
like
end of the year.
8 catches, 98 yards, and like a touchdown a game for those 4 games.
Why do you think that is? That's an important reason. Why do you think he did better with Huntley?
I think Huntley just, and as much as we want to rip on Lamar's arm, not being able to throw out to the sidelines, Huntley was just really comfortable chucking it down to Andrews.
Yeah.
And you know that's I guess that's the thing. Like,
Yeah. To me, they're essentially a play action team, or a RPO team.
Yeah.
And without Lamar, there's going to be a lot less opportunities downfield. So Andrews had a lot more opportunities. Yeah.
Historically, I don't believe either of us are early tight end guys.
No.
Unless it's like FFPC, tight end premium 1.5.
I bought high on Waller a couple times.
Yes.
Well, the one time I did, it worked out. Second time I did.
So let's talk about Kelce real quick. You know, he's tried and true, man. He's LeBron James of fucking tight ends. You know, he's I think he's about 32 years old now, but he's had 6 years or maybe 7 years of just dominance.
Sure.
Just 90 catches. Even he was great even before Mahomes got there, right? The Alex Smith years.
Yeah.
Just amazing production. 90 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Set it and forget it, right?
Yep.
And this year, I think a lot of people are actually almost higher on him because they don't have Tyreek Hill. I don't think that's an advantage for him because if you notice, he had some rough games last year where he wasn't getting open. And it's crazy because at the end of the year, we saw the playoffs where he had a couple long touchdowns. He looked real spry. But Hill was nice because Hill dictated the coverage. And Kelce, you can't double cover both. And if you're going to pick your poison, give Kelce the 14-yard catch. Do not give Tyreek Hill the 70-yard bomb, which is what they've been doing. Now, you got Hardman, you got Juju, you got some decent weapons, but you don't have Tyreek Hill out there scaring the fuck out of you.
So you think that? So what you're saying is that Tyreek Hill allowed for 15-yard catches
All day. Yeah, if you wanted to go there.
and you don't think that's a problem anymore for defenses?
No, and I feel like he's still going to get the value, but his efficiency is going to go down. He's still going to be a red zone guy, but
All right, so let's hammer it down. What do you think his stats will be? How about we do that for these tight ends? Let's hammer down the stats.
I feel like he'll probably still catch 9 or 10 touchdowns.
Okay.
He'll probably still he's probably still in the same year is what I'm saying. But the allure of the giant year is gone because teams are gonna focus on Kelce.
Yeah.
So like his upside is capped because he's not gonna have 160-yard receiving games. Not that he ever did too much, but like they're gonna make other people beat them. They're gonna be like, let Juju beat us.
Sure.
If Juju gets hurt, let's let Hardman beat us.
Yeah.
Let's let the rookie Sky Moore beat us. Let's let MVS beat us.
Okay.
Before it wasn't that. It was like, okay, we can't let Tyreek Hill beat us.
And we're instead of giving up the 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah. So
the point I was trying to get to was, do you think that's a product of Mahomes, or do you think that's a product of Tyreek Hill? Like, what do you think made the Chiefs the Chiefs? Was it Tyreek Hill or was it Mahomes?
It was Mahomes.
So
but Hill was a big part of it. They're still going to be fine, right?
So here's my argument against what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is that they got MVS. I know that.
Still a stretcher, though.
Beyond that, as long as they have a fast guy that can stretch the field, Mahomes can throw the best deep.
Yeah.
Maybe besides Russ.
Get some separation.
Besides Russ, right? Like maybe the best deep ball in the league, right? So I don't think that's going to go away. And another credit to.
You don't have your rough square now.
You told me to take it off.
I would want to show your hair for a second.
Lack of hair. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't interrupt you.
In terms of his age, you said 32.
Yeah.
I think there's recent examples of Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the last
Tony G and the
so,
Falcons killed it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have, after 32 plus, they performed pretty well. So,
but
the age to me with tight end, it's almost like an offensive lineman.
And he doesn't have to block.
Whitworth was 40 years
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
and
Well,
he does what they do. No, Kelsey's a blocker.
a little bit, not like Kittle, but he does block here and there. This year, he might actually be asked to block less because of the name of the passing game. The problem is he'll be more of a focal point of the defense. If he already wasn't already.
No, if Kelsey was not a blocking threat, he would not be as open as much as he is. The reason that he's open as much as he is because he's you have to worry about the guy that's running behind, like all that. Hey, take a look at this. You got Pringle or Hardman doing a end around.
The pre-snap motion.
He's blocking for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Holding the guy, and then he releases, and then he
yards, gets 8 yards,
he go for 60 yards.
Yeah.
Kelsey, he's different.
And I'm not worried about him, but his ADP of 14, and the problem is in our leagues, I disagree with that. I think he's going higher though, dude. Because in all the drafts I've done best ball so far, half point PPR underdog, he's going top 10.
I disagree with paying a premium for him.
Yeah. Now I would, if he's at 16 or 17. Might be tough to pass that up, right? Like, I don't know, where are you comfortable taking him? I guess is the question. If he's there at the end of the second round, you got to take him.
For my personal philosophy, I'm not to me. We just off camera we discussed we were doing drafts just recently. I think quarterback, the thing we discussed just a few days ago, and tight end are the two positions I'm willing to wait on because I think the tight end, essentially 5 through 14. Are interchangeable.
Great. Like, and in best ball especially because you could just pair two of those late guys. In redraft's a little different. It's nice to have Kelsey 14 points a game.
I still see I'm willing to stream both quarterback and even in redraft. I really am.
Okay.
Personally, I am.
Right. All right. So that was a lot on Travis Kelsey because he's so consistent. But there's a lot of issues with that, good and bad.
Yeah, I want to hear the
Let's
rest
get
of
to Andrews here. Now, I know you're never been the biggest Andrews fan. Yeah. And if you recall last year in our draft, which I won, the one best ball we did against each other, I picked Andrews real early, third round or fourth. It's tight end premium, so like that's the caveat. That was like it was end of the third, and I remember I started talking myself into it. I was like, I didn't like the pick, but
you hated it a week later.
Yeah, but he had 109 catches. It was amazing, so he won me the league essentially.
Well, Mahomes and Rodgers too.
Yeah, with those guys, like with
you got Rodgers in the 14th round.
It was super steady. But you think usually it's right addition by subtraction for these fantasy guys, but. In this case, I don't think that for two reasons.
Yeah.
The number one reason is they're going real run heavy this year. Mm-hmm. More so because they actually have running backs again. And they went run heavy without running backs last year, right? Yeah. And his only path to success in terms of duplicating the fantasy points is going to be touchdowns. Because he's not getting 109 catches.
You're right.
Now, he could catch 13 touchdowns. I think he had 9 or 10 last year.
I could see that. I could see being a touchdown heavy
touchdowns
guy,
are very random. So to be banking on this guy to catch 13 touchdowns, it's a losing effort. And he's going 19, so he's going 5 picks for the end of the second round, right?
Too heavy for me.
Too heavy. And I like the safety. I like the player. He's 26 years old or whatever. He's 5, 6, 7 years younger than Kelsey. But I don't like that passing offense. And I think as much as we say they don't have the players, they have Bateman. They have a Devin Duvernay that they kind of like. They have some other guys. They have the running backs. Like, I'd rather wait. You know what I mean? If he falls at mid-third round, I'll take him.
It's pretty simple with me. It's the team, the offense revolves around Lamar, who to me is not ever going to be a phenomenal thrower.
No.
That's why I like his touchdown upside because I can see Lamar getting him to the red zone.
Touchdowns.
But the reception.
He's never having 4,000 yards passing.
I don't see. And what we're talking about Andrews, I don't see Andrews getting over 100 catches.
Yeah,
he might maybe flirt with 1,000 yards, a couple big games, but I really don't. I don't see numbers. What you said, 19 overall.
Yeah, and
that's
they
too
threw
heavy.
A lot last year, right?
I feel like you can easily duplicate that with a different
and their
player.
defense has improved. We didn't mention that. And the thing is, like,
their defense is getting guys back, and they
got guys they drafted. So, and the thing is, with him, let's just say so. I like to kind of think of it as target share, in a way, just to predict targets. The rest of the stuff is all, depending on the player, they might have better catch rate, touchdown rate, etc. But target rate, right? Target percentage, target share. So if Lamar throws 600 times, that's insane. Not happening, dude. No. Not happening. Let's say that he throws 550 times. Okay? Now, Mark Andrews, to get, I think he had like 150-something targets last year, which is insane for a tight end and also in that offense.
Yeah.
If they throw, let's give him 600 throws, okay, because the extra game, which is not happening for the Ravens. and he gets a 20.
Well, the extra game. They already had the extra game last year.
Yeah, right. So let's say he gets a 25% target share, which is immense. At 600, what are we looking at? 150 targets.
600.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'm saying.
what do you have last year?
They probably threw around five. I'll put it up. They're probably 580. Let's just say 600.
Okay.
And let's say 25%, which is upside, never getting higher.
Yeah.
That's only 150 targets. Now that's a hell of a lot, but that is the best case scenario. Best case.
With an inaccurate quarterback.
And if he doesn't have the efficiency, even if he gets 150 targets, which he's not, he needs to have 12 touchdowns to get value where you're drafting him.
You're 100%.
So like you're just looking at all like best case scenarios.
Yeah.
So if you want to play it safe and have your tight end, you'll be reaching at running back. You're going to be thin on all those positions. So
right. Here's my thoughts on it. This last thing I'm going to say about it is, if the Ravens do super well, if they play the game they want to play, man defense, running the ball, and just scoring,
win 12 games.
Well, yeah, scoring in not in chunks, but in plays, right? Like the Chiefs, for example, want to score in chunks. They want a 50, 60-yard play.
Right.
The Ravens want to, let's get 4 yards here, 5 yards here, 4 yards here, 5 yards here. The best case, if the Ravens do well, let's say they win 12 games, they play their game plan, I don't think Lamar's going to throw more than 450, 500 times per game, or for the year, rather. So that's the bottom line. If they are not the team that, like, if they are not going to do well, where they have to throw a lot more, where you throw 600 times, again, now you're asking Lamar to be super accurate for those extra 150 passes, and a good chunk of them go to Andrew. I agree with you. I don't see an avenue for Andrew.
And if we give him 450 and we give him 25%, which is a lot, you're looking at 120 targets. Now you're looking at 80 catches. Which is still good.
You can still get your 10, 12 touchdowns.
That's a third to fourth round player.
Exactly.
Yes. Then he better be catching 13 touchdowns then.
So we both agree that Andrews is overvalued.
All right, next tier here, we got three. I have 3 through 5, so I have 3 players here.
Yeah.
Number 3, Kyle Pitts, going at 35.
These are the juicy ones.
These are the juicy ones because you're getting a little bit of value.
This is where you get odds legit when you're league.
Yeah, and any one of these guys, I feel like for sure, I mean, they better, but also for sure have top, number 1 tight end upside.
If you can plug and play a tight end that you get in the 5th round, 6th round.
Well, they're not going quite there. So Pitts, number 3, 35. George Kittle, number 4, 51. Darren Waller, number 5, 55. 55 is about mid-5th.
I think that's where I'm comfortable taking a tight end.
Any of these guys. Right. Okay, so we'll talk about Kyle Pitts.
Give me your case for Pitts. Yeah.
Nicest ass in the league. Nicest ass in tight ends. I love Kyle Pitts. It's insane. He only had 1 touchdown last year. Didn't catch a touchdown on American soil, by the way. It was a London game.
I remember.
So it's yet to have a United States touchdown.
You came over early, so we could watch that.
Yeah.
Jets. It was the Jets.
And the question is the quarterback play there awful? And
I'm not trusting Mariota.
And we all figured when Ridley got suspended or whatever, retired, whatever the hell you want to call it, missed the rest of the year. Like, Kyle Pitts, all this shit.
Pitts did the first game.
And he had some nice value games. But like, there was nobody else, and it almost hurt him in terms of they were doubling him. It's also hard to double tight end, but whatever the case may be, 1 touchdown, and he had the volume. I don't know what he had, 130 targets last year. It was pretty good, pretty healthy. He didn't get hurt, but he was like tight end 6, dude, and played every game. Awful. Yeah. And we both love Kyle Pitts' talent, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Elite. Calvin Johnson shit, dude.
I like Pitts more this year than one rookie.
But
2, Falcons' defense was horrible.
Yeah.
So they knew they were throwing the ball. Matt Ryan is not the type to extend plays. He's the type to execute plays, right?
Yes.
Like he's the executor. Like
and that was with
super accurate.
Hall of Famer.
I don't think Mariota's.
So now they have
Who's the rookie?
Desmond Ridder.
Ritter.
Desmond Ridder went to Cincinnati, I believe.
Yeah.
Kind of a bigger guy, but
how many weeks till he takes over the job?
6.
You think so?
But I don't know if that helps. Because, all right, Mariota recently had a really small sample size. But I do recall there was a game that Derek Carr got hurt.
It was a few weeks.
There was one game for sure, though, where he started and he had Waller last year. And Waller went bananas. Because Mariota's not a guy, he's not a sideline guy. He's up the middle. He doesn't have the arm strength.
It's either the first read where the guy's wide open across the middle, or he's scrambling out and he's hoping the guy who breaks open for
this
the
is
rush.
The pro case. The pro for Kyle Pitts is that I don't know the stats. I think and this is also Darren Waller, who's a stud. Sure. I think Kyle Pitts is probably a better player better prospect than Darren Waller. Maybe not better right now.
Well, prospect for sure.
Yeah. Maybe the same player right now. It's hard to say. He's not better. We can't say
No, I think his upside is better.
Yes.
But Waller's proven.
Waller probably had 8 catches for fucking 90. The typical Waller.
Waller's done it a million times.
So that is one pro for having Mariota because Waller had a badass game. And actually, Mariota played pretty feisty, pretty decent when he took over. But his arm, how many touchdowns do you think? Let's say it's Mariota the whole year, 17 games.
Yeah.
They have a trash defense. They're trash. They're going to win 3 games. How many touchdowns do you think he's throwing? 19. He's a running quarterback.
Yeah.
So if he's throwing 19, and Pitts had 1 as a rookie, you're going to project Kyle Pitts. He needs to catch 9.
Well,
so he's going to have half the touchdowns, which could happen.
Yeah.
But the same thing with Andrews, right? You're projecting these, best case scenarios. I don't want to project these guys to be at their ceiling best case scenarios because what if it's the worst case scenario? What if he catches 3? What if he catches 4?
To me, the Falcons are a team that, all right, let's build up and let's do it next year.
Yeah.
Because they drafted another receiver. They drafted a quarterback.
Yeah.
Mariota, he may be the answer, but if he is, that's 100 to 1 shot to me.
Yeah. And the one issue
he's the starter next year, I'll take that bet all day.
To piggyback on your point about they're playing for next year,
yeah.
What if he gets a hamstring injury? What if he gets an ankle injury? Why would they rush Kyle Pitts back? He's their future. He's 22 years old. So you also have that. I know it's one of those things where you sometimes get the benefit of the garbage time, the team that's dead, play your guy, especially in the NBA, right? Give him the shot. But this isn't the NBA. And he's more likely to sit if he has a minor injury than he is if he's on a team like the Bengals.
Yeah,
a team like the Ravens.
I mean, I know
like the Raiders.
I know the Falcons had a lot of injuries last year. I'd be surprised if they're competitive this year. So to you, Kyle Pitts, third tight end.
Yeah, not
overvalued, undervalued.
Oh, way overvalued.
I agree.
And I love Kyle Pitts.
I agree. So we both agree. Kelsey is
all 3. It's
Kelsey,
the only one that could be.
Kelsey is probably where he should be because he has to prove us wrong, right?
Yeah.
We expect him to do well.
Other 2
overvalued.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, number 4, George Kittle. I think we're both gonna be uniform in this one. It's nice that he's number 4, and you have Pitts going 35, and you have Kittle going 51.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little round and a half gap, but George Kittle cannot stay healthy. George Kittle is one of the best blocking tight ends in the league, and they're a running team. Why does George Kittle get hurt? Is because he's fucking blocking, dude.
Kittle might be the most talented tight end that we've discussed.
All-around player, real life player.
Yeah.
But I've never been the biggest George. You know what the most touchdown passes George Kittle's ever caught? 6. It's 5, dude, or 6. It's some crazy low number. And the thing is, he should catch 8 this year if he played. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're a run heavy team, he's George Kittle.
He's top heavy. He has good games. Yeah.
And that guy yak wise, you get the ball in that guy's hand. He's stiff arm and he's breaking tackles.
He's a beast. I think he's the most talented so far that we discussed.
But at 51,
maybe besides Kelsey,
how do you feel about this? Because George Kittle's not young. He's 26.
Because in the past I've been anti George Kittle because he's been a top 3 guy. He's been one of the top 2-3 rounds guys. Right. Now that if you can get in the 4, late 4th, early 5th, or whatever 4th round, it makes it a little more interesting. Again, based on my drafts that I've done so far, I still feel like I can get better value at other positions.
Yeah.
So
51 is
in terms of where he's valued strictly in the tight end hierarchy. I think he's undervalued in terms of the tight end hierarchy.
Yeah.
But in terms of the ADP, I think he's overvalued.
A little bit. Now, if you get so right now his ADP is early 5th round. If he falls into that early 6th round,
I would be tempted. If I can fill out my roster,
right?
If I can fill out, I have 2 running backs and 2 solid receivers, and I can fill out with George Kittle in 5th. Now,
what's the biggest worry about Kittle? It's not it's his performance a bit, but it's mostly the injuries.
Sure. Well, no, it's Trey Lance, bro. Yeah. You can't throw a ball.
Did you hear the report, though, that Trey Lance was playing with a broken finger all last year?
I'm
just telling you, that does help his case a bit. If he's playing with a broken finger.
No, it sounds like a good excuse, yeah.
Well, right.
It sounds but Baker Mayfield was playing with a torn shoulder, and he lost his job.
So George Kittle at 52.
So what does the broken finger
both
mean?
rich for our blood, right?
That's where now I'm starting to think.
Yeah, right.
Now it's middling.
Because you might be talking about 2 rounds after Pitts, and I like that.
I would not. For me personally, I would not.
But if it's, let's say it's the
if he falls to the 6th round, now all of a sudden
early 6, you have 5 players already. You're like, damn, I don't have a quarterback, but I have 2 stud receivers, 2 stud running backs, 3 receivers. I can go to the Kyler Lamar quarterback range, or I can go George Kittle,
Lamar,
and then get Russ. That's the decision.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Next guy, the last guy in this tier, which I got to hear your take on this one, is Darren Waller.
Yeah.
His stock's way lower. Last year he was a second round pick. So here now he's going 55, so 56 almost, which is 5 picks after George Kittle, which is almost 6th round, right?
Yeah.
That's 4 picks away from the 6th round.
Now we're speaking about
the only issue is, and why he's getting faded, is before he was the number 1 option, he was getting all the targets. Now you got Devontae Adams there, which I don't know how much it hurts him. Might take away from so much target value, but he's not going to get double covered.
Well, that helps. So the reason
I think it's a wash.
So the reason that he my opinion, the reason he had a down year, rather, not even really a bad year, he was still tight end, whatever, like top 10, right? Like, so the reason he had a down year was because of the rug shit. Like, Renfro was the wide receiver 1 for most of the year, and they still made the fucking playoffs. Like, Derek Carr is a stud. He's accurate. Like, and guess who he loves? Guess who is the consistency throughout his entire career has been Darren Waller. Devontae Adams to me only helps, honestly.
Yeah, double coverage.
You
can't double both. I mean,
well, who are they doubling?
You know Waller ain't blocking, right?
Guess why Renfro had so many catches? Because who they're doubling?
Right,
Waller.
So now it's going to trickle down, right? Like,
yeah, now you
have
Adams,
100% single coverage on Renfro. This might be a Renfro argument too. Well, now Renfro's never getting doubled. Waller's not.
Renfro's a poor man Cooper Kupp.
He is
white, but
nice. All right, we both. So you like Waller there, or is that where you're?
That's where
at price.
I like that value because I think he's better or as good as the next 4 guys.
And he's the end of this tier. So now when we're talking about this next guys, I'm going to get to. If after Waller and Schultz is next, which I like Schultz too, but Waller's more proven and better. Yeah. So it falls off. If you want an elite tight end, possible.
I think that's where it falls off.
Yes. So if you can get him, then after that, then you can wait. But if you don't want to wait, and you're like, I waited long enough, right? These other 4 guys went, maybe 12 picks passed from Kittle or...
Great point, because I think Waller's the last guy that you can plug and play. Say, I'm going to start every single week.
As long as he's healthy.
He's going to be due for 11 catches, 110 yards,
What's Waller's bad game? 4 for 48? Which is bad, but that's still a PPR 8.8.
That's Devontae Adams' bad game.
Yeah, it's 8.8.
4,
if he catches a touchdown, that's
less touchdowns he has, but I think this is the last guy you can say, I'm going to draft and I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year.
Yeah, set and forget. All right, now the next tier here, I have 3 guys here, 6 through 8. Dalton Schultz at 6, which is 72 ADP. TJ Hawkinson at 7, which is 73, so back-to-back. And Dallas Goedert at 8 at 89, a little later. So we'll talk about Dalton Schultz here. He's 72, which is about 6th round, end of 6, early 7.
Sure.
Killed it last year. Sure. Blake Jarwin's gone. Amari Cooper's gone.
Where'd Jarwin go?
Yeah, I think he just retired or he's just nowhere. I don't know.
Okay.
Because the ACL. He's not there. So they don't have a backup. Like last year, the only issue was Jarwin was 2 years ago the guy.
Jarwin was, yeah.
And then this, Dalton Schultz had a nice end of the year 2 years ago.
Yeah. So for me, just real quick for Schultz, I need to see it again.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be wrong on Schultz, but not wrong at the 6th overall tight end. Yeah.
What's nice, though, is that you have, Amari gone. Amari Cooper's gone. You have Michael Gallup, who is probably on the pup. If he comes back week 4, is he Michael Gallup until week 7? So you have 6. It's nice to start off hot because he's going to be the number 2 option, most likely, unless you have Jalen Tolbert, the rookie, coming in, or James Washington. They're going to throw to Tony Pollard.
I think Washington's a better possession receiver than Schultz.
You get what I'm saying? He's going to be he was in the offense last year, bro.
Yeah.
Dak likes him.
But the fact that James Washington there, I think negates Schultz.
Well, that's
significantly.
Crazy. I'm a Jalen Tolbert guy personally, so I feel like James Washington's one of those guys that's going to play 95% of the snaps and have fucking 3 targets a game. He's out there for
Gallup last year.
Yeah, right.
Or
he's
2
out
years
there
ago,
for.
Right? Yeah.
He might get a big play or 2. He's out there for almost like a ceremonial start.
No. I completely.
Okay.
I'm on the opposite side.
So you're in best ball. You're kind of about James Washington.
I probably should be more because I'm anti.
You know how old James Washington is, by the way?
27.
Yeah, 26. You think he's an old guy, and he's a speeder. He's a speedster.
Well, he's a. I mean,
so too rich for you, for Schultz.
Right? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Overrated. If
I'm more lukewarm on that, but it's too rich for my blood. I'm just waiting at this point.
At that point, I'm willing to take in the 6th round. I'm willing to take Miles Sanders.
I'm close. 100%. I'm closer to Darren Waller with Schultz in terms of like where he's going than I am.
No
where
shit.
you're at.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because I feel like he's going to definitely be safe. He is the last plug and play guy in terms of you don't have to worry about him because he's going to be on the field, tied to a good offense, tied to a good quarterback, chemistry, coming back, guy's injured. I guess we'll see.
There's something with my guns.
And I'm not a Schultz guy,
Sure,
so
sure,
and I'm
sure.
right with you, but
Sure,
you're
sure.
lower on him.
Yeah,
than I am.
yeah.
Eventually, you got to like one of these guys, though.
Well, I like Waller.
Oh, I like Waller too, and I haven't liked many of them. All right, number 7, T.J. Hawkinson, one of my guys. I like T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson's only about 24 right now, I believe. So in like Dynasty, he's a real hot guy. Yeah, super young. Nice ass, dude. Tight ends, come on. This is a joke. Joke that keeps on giving. 73. Let's ride. 73 ADP. The issue with me is it's a good and bad, right? It's like last year he was the only guy. Hence why when he got hurt, Amon-Ra St. Brown crushed it. It's like, okay, now St. Brown's the only guy.
Well, everyone got hurt.
Now they have, the quarterback plays bad, they're a running team, but now they brought in DJ Chark, right? You have St. Brown in his second year.
Mm-hmm.
You have DeAndre Swift out of the backfield.
Bulk
Eventually
up,
you're going to
gain 20 pounds.
Ooh, you're going to get Jameson Williams coming back. So, like, he's still going to be probably number 1 or number 2 target of the team.
Yeah.
But that's Jared Goff playing quarterback.
ADP
his ADP is right, it's 73, so right after Dalton Schultz.
So within a few
But
picks.
lower than what it was last year. Last year, I believe he was like 60th. Remember, he was like a 5th round.
Yeah,
pick?
you know,
He was like number
the hype
5.
was up.
He was number 5, 6, 4.
He lived up to the hype until
he did until he got hurt because out of volume. But the offense is gonna be bad.
So that,
we both like the Lions.
To me, that's a value.
You like that more than Schultz?
Oh, I would draft to me Schultz 8th or 9th round pick. Like I think
Hawkinson where he's going.
Yeah, I think that's more accurate. Yeah.
See, I like Schultz more as a floor play. I like Hawkinson's upside.
Okay.
So I think Hawkinson's a better player than Schultz.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that the Cowboys have a better offense.
Definitely.
So, and
I'm not
a
gonna
quarterback, more rapport. All right, next guy here is the last guy in this tier, number 8, Dallas Goedert. We're looking at 89 ADP, so another 16 picks after. We both love Dallas Goedert, the player.
Some of the better hands.
And athletic, big dude. Not quite Gesecki hands, but more athletic than Gesecki, right?
Yeah. Well, just his hands are going to be top 3 in terms of the group we're talking about.
I've always loved Dallas Goedert. You know I'm a handcuff guy, right? In the past, I've always handcuffed running backs. In the last 3 years, I've always handcuffed Goedert.
Yeah.
Just because Ertz is injury prone, and I always thought Goedert was a better player than Ertz. Ertz is steadier, right? But like Goddard's more athletic and bigger.
So Ertz is more like the Kelce's and the Hawkinsons.
Yeah.
He's a blocking guy that will go out. Goddard's he has the best hands.
Kittle. He's almost like Kittle. You get the ball in that guy's hand.
No. Kittle. Well, no.
No.
He's more to me. He's more of a Pitts. He's a receiver.
There you go.
He has good hands.
There you go.
The only guy that I would say that has better hands than Goddard
Yeah.
of the list we've discussed so far is Kyle Pitts.
And if you recall, towards the end of the year last year, remember how Philly stopped throwing?
Yeah. Well, because Jalen
Goddard would have these crazy lines where he'd have 2 catches for 74 yards.
Yeah.
Remember he'd have like 2 40-yard catches?
Because Hurts is such a distraction.
Yeah. So he has the big play potential.
Yeah.
My issue right here is with the A.J. Brown signing. It's going to open up some room, but I don't see them being a volume team. They're a little bit more pass-heavy than the Ravens, I feel like, this year. But he's 3rd in the pecking order.
Definitely throw more passes.
3rd in the pecking order, though. You can't say he's ahead of A.J. Brown. That's not happening.
Yeah.
And Devontae Smith, they love. Devontae Smith's a pro.
I'm a big Devontae Smith guy.
Our biggest thing with Devontae Smith was, we'll put the clip in here. You said he was looked like a little girl wearing his dad's shoes. Devontae Smith and his 150-pound frame. He has supermodel legs. And we both say that he has.
We were talking earlier. He looks like a teenage girl that's wearing her father's shoes.
It's rough, man. And
I don't know how he walks.
I just have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to see a snap leg. He's a tiny leg, skinny.
Yeah.
But I feel like, if anything, last year he still performed well with not having an NFL body. Now, I haven't heard if he gained any weight, but I'm telling you, that guy, the only thing
he wore down. You saw him early in the season, he was good, and then he wore down when he started taking the hits.
I haven't heard, but I like to think that guy, I've never heard any off-field issues or like effort issues with him.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that guy took the memo that his one weakness, his one downfall, and he had to know, he looks like a fucking 8th grader, is that he needs to gain some weight, build some strength, and put some work in. So if anyone would have done it, this is hypothetical, that he did that. And if he did that, he's their number 2. He's their number 2 anyway, right?
No, I agree.
So we're looking at number 3. We're looking at a running team. We love Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts is going to run the ball. So Dallas Goedert needs to get...
So you're a little bit lower than I am, huh?
he needs to have touchdowns. Okay? He needs Jalen Hurts to have the Lamar MVP year of 36 touchdowns to not to produce here. Because 8 isn't hard to, he just needs 6 touchdowns, 900 yards to get 8.
So I think the bottom line,
what do you
with
draft
you,
him
the
for?
question is how well does Jalen Hurts perform?
Yeah.
How many touchdowns does he throw? Right?
He's got to throw 30 for him to be elite, right? Like
how many red zone opportunities do they have?
Like-
because he's a red zone guy, right?
Yeah.
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 So
And
how
a
many
big play
red
guy.
zone opportunities
Right.
do they have?
And I see Dallas Goedert's floor nice, but I see more of a path of, for sure, Waller. That's easy. He could be top 3. I see Schultz and Hawkinson having more of a path for top 3 than Goedert, just based on their role in the offense.
Yeah.
Not their talent.
Yeah.
In the offense they play in, right? Where like I see Hawkinson getting more volume. I see Schultz playing a better offense. I see like the weaknesses of both those players in Goedert. Not Goedert the player.
So you think
The situation.
how significant to you is the difference in the Cowboys' offense to the Eagles' offense?
It's similar. The difference is Schultz has a chance, at least early on, to be number 2 in that offense in terms of receiving option. And Goedert is no way he's number 2, right?
Well, here's my argument with that is that he's not the number 2 because there's Zeke and Pollard.
Okay,
So
there you
now,
go. So now he's number 3. There we go. So it's tied. Right, but I do
but
think
how many,
if I were to choose a passing
how many more
offense,
times is Dak going to turn around and hand it off to one of those guys versus Hurts turning around
But
and handing it off to
if-
Miles Sanders or whomever?
yes. If you had a bet though, in terms of like betting on just this team's passing offense, yardage, touchdowns, if you put it like a point total to each, you take the Cowboys passing offense, would you not? They're going to throw for 40
No,
yards.
we're talking about strictly tight ends. I'm going to take Goddard over Schultz.
talent. You know, I'm talking about if you were to take the
fancy
passing
production,
offense.
talent, everything.
I'm talking about just the passing offense in the vacuum. At the end of the day, regardless who's playing quarterback, regardless who's receiving,
Well, Dak is the better thrower.
who has
for
a chance
sure.
to have a team 5,000 yards passing?
Dak.
Yeah,
Dak.
they probably
well,
will.
No, it's Dak.
Right.
It's not the Cowboys. It's Dak.
Who has a chance to throw for 40 touchdowns as a team or a
Well, it's
quarterback?
Dak.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about with the Schultz thing. I like if Goddard was
Fair.
on the fucking Cowboys,
Fair.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
like,
fair enough.
and Schultz was on the Eagles.
Fair enough.
you know.
Fair enough.
Not to say Schultz is a solid little player. What solid little player? He's fucking huge, but
No,
I mean,
fair enough.
You get what I'm saying?
No.
These guys are all in the same tier for me.
But to me, is Goddard above Schultz too? Like Schultz?
No. Schultz is ahead of Goddard.
No, I'm saying for me.
He is.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Easy,
Okay.
easy.
So you're way out of
I
Schultz. Okay, deal. I like that. All right, now we get to the next tier here. We are going 9 to 12 here to round out the starters, right?
Yeah.
With the 12 one's a
Yeah.
caveat because we don't know if he's
Yeah,
playing.
people are jacking as a
Spoiler.
starter.
Zach Ertz, number 9, who is interesting because of the Hopkins thing. So
Sure.
Zach Ertz is at 102, 9th overall. Dawson Knox at 10, at 107, so pretty
Wow.
close. He had like 9 touchdowns last year.
Wow.
Pat Fireme's at 11 at 121.
I like
And then we have
too.
Gronkowski at 12 still,
Bro.
even though he's not even playing.
I
yet.
would take
So,
that tier over the previous tier, to be honest with you.
even without value, just based on player names, or close. You're saying it's close.
Just in terms of previous production, just expectation.
Let's go through them individually here.
Yeah.
So Zach Ertz, he people thought he was dumb, but Zach Ertz has multiple records, if not top 3 years of receptions for a tight end in the history of NFL.
100 plus.
Yeah, I had like
multiple
111 or some shit.
100 plus
and
3 years in a row.
Let's be honest, he was never a great athlete. He was just more of a fundamental player that was in a great situation. But he has lost a step. Could you agree with that?
For sure. Well, yeah. He's,
Okay.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be as much about him. Not even saying I'm about him, but if it wasn't for the Hopkins news. Now that Hopkins has suspended 6 games, you saw what happened when Hopkins was out last
Fair
year.
enough. Oh,
Zach
yeah,
Ertz.
fair enough. Yeah,
And he had a nice year even when he was with the Eagles.
stuck-
with Goddard.
he had
He
like-
actually had as many receptions
like
as
8
Goddard.
catches.
Yeah, but he was going 7 for 58 repeatedly with Kyler.
Yeah.
So they have a rapport. They did bring in Marquise Brown. They have Rondell Moore. They have fucking AJ Brown. Sorry, I always say AJ Brown. AJ Green.
Yeah.
They did lose Chase Edmonds though, right? They lost a little bit of receiving back.
He was. So to me, that's more. If Kyler can take a step up in terms, he's not great at throwing across the field, so he needs a big target. And a guy that's going to be in the right spot at the right time is Zach Ertz.
Safety blanket, man.
If Kyler does not take a step up where he's able to throw, it's a threat to throw across the middle of the field,
So Zach Ertz or Schultz for you?
Now we're getting close.
We're
Now
talking
getting close.
102 to 72 though. We're talking literally 2.5 rounds.
So
in a
so
vacuum.
now I see.
I'm a vacuum
in a vacuum.
salesman.
In a vacuum.
You want to buy me a used vacuum?
You
You got to change the head on it because I might have been.
I would still take Ertz. Ertz
Okay.
has done it a million times. Schultz
Yeah.
had an opportunity, capitalized on it because of necessity.
And
Like I said when we're talking about Schultz, I said, let me see him do it again.
Right.
And then I'm willing to be wrong about
Yeah.
I say this all the time. Like I'm willing to be wrong about players.
Yeah. And the nice thing about Ertz is with these tight ends this late, we're talking about 9. You're I'm not saying you're streaming the position, but you're very comfortable at this point because you didn't go for one of those top 5 guys, and you have. I could promise you the first 6 weeks of Ertz is gonna be better than the last 6 weeks with the Hopkins news. So at the very least, you have a guy you can kind of plug and play at 9 and have at least 4 for 44, and you figure it out later, right?
To me, these are beautiful guys. If you took Kyler in the 5th or 6th rounds,
You
like
have
now
a good quarterback.
now
you
you
have Josh
compare
Allen.
him with Zach Ertz, right?
Yeah, you took Herbert. You took one of these guys.
Or if you decide to take Trubisky in the 18th round,
you're not totally punting tight end, at least early on.
Yeah.
And you have a guy that you know isn't a fucking dud. He's not going to get 0 catches in a game.
That's what I think about Schultz. I only want to pair him with Dak.
Right.
I wouldn't want him in the vacuum.
One thing I didn't bring up is historically, I've heard this in a lot of pods, just about, the guys crunching the numbers, is historically the dead zone for, there's a dead zone for running backs, it's 18 through 30.
Sure.
Or even sometimes 15 through 25.
Sure. Yeah.
Where it's these guys don't pan
I
out.
see it when I'm drafting. I see it.
Tight end dead zone is 5 to 9.
Yeah.
Remember Hayden Hurst a couple years ago on the Falcons? He's like, he was a first round pick. He's gonna get the work, and he got all the work, got all the snaps. He ended up having actually a decent year. It was 7 touchdowns, 900 yards, but per game basis was tight end 11.
Yeah.
Which isn't where you drafted him for. And you could have streamed that point. You could have streamed there, and it took you a 7th round pick. Which Ertz isn't taking a 7th round pick. I'm more talking that Ertz, or back then, Hayden Hurst is equivalent to the Hawkinson where he's going, right? I see more upside in these guys this year.
Oh, I love these late tight ends.
The problem is every year we say that, and every year tight end stinks, right? And every year we're like, I kind of like this tight end crop. I kind of like some of these guys, right?
Yeah.
You like Hayden Hurst now in the fucking Bengals as a late guy. Saying we always see the allure, but they don't pan out. It's a 20% hit rate, right? For these guys to match where they're getting drafted.
So with tight end.
Because you have Dawson Knox last year, killed it, right?
So
not drafted. You had Dalton Schultz last year, not drafted, number 2 tight end.
Yeah.
You always get the late guys.
Exactly.
It's hard to identify that.
So my thinking with tight end this year, as I'm going and drafting now, it's almost similar to quarterback, but I'll focus on tight end. Is I feel like I can get what I would be expecting from Darren Waller in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah.
I feel like I could find something similar in these late, closer to the 10th round.
Right.
It's so hit or miss because there's so few options, right? There's so little variance. There's only 15 guys that you're talking about, right? With quarterbacks, you could talk about top
19,
25, right?
22,
Really, the 25,
yeah.
because Zach Wilson's going 25, right?
Yeah.
You could talk about the top 25. Running back, you could talk about the top 70.
And you can with tight ends as well. But the problem is we
no,
don't know
there's
the work.
15.
No, and we don't know the workload. These guys come out of nowhere, right?
How many top tight ends out of the top 15?
Well, where do you think Dalton Schultz was getting drafted last year? Dude,
top
19.
20.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so outside of the top
he
20.
was number 2.
But my point is there's that limit. If you can find someone maybe at the very tail end of the top 20, where you can find a quarterback at 30, you might be able to draft Minshew. I'm making a point. He could be the 35th quarterback and be a starter, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But with the tight ends, after the top 20, there's a steep drop off. Right?
And one of my issues with these middle tight ends, one of the biggest problems I have, again, I'm going to go back to the Hayden Hurst and the Falcons as an example, is you think you have your guy, you paid a decent, not too crazy of a price, but enough to where you're I'm going to stick with this guy, especially if he's getting 6 targets a game and you look at the snap count, he's playing 90%. It's what else am I going to get out there? And you tend to neglect the guys like Dawson Knox last year, the guys like Dalton Schultz. And same with the top guys, but at that point, you're not looking for a tight end. Yeah. And even though you should always be looking for at least trade bait, right? But these guys at 7, if I have fucking Kelsey, I'm prioritizing running back or anything else.
Yeah.
But at 7, it's that fine line where you're not looking at Dawson Knox's 2 touchdown game.
So we're on Ertz or Knox right now?
No, we're still on Ertz. I was just saying, when you have these guys that are solid enough, sometimes you miss out. The problem with drafting these guys, you miss out on the breakout guys that come out because you're not looking at tight end on your waiver wire moves, or you're okay, I'm fine. I got 9 points, or 10 points in PPR. That's the one problem here. If you punt tight end, you go 13. You're
Yeah.
definitely looking, right? You might draft.
No,
two.
no, I'm 100 because at this point, like if you're trying to draft a tight end in this range, you can get much more value. You can get Russell Wilson, like you can get like whomever, like another tight end.
And wait and get David Njoku, guys we're talking about later.
Exactly. I am curious, why is Dawson Knox? Because I know it's the next guy.
Why is
he Knox so low?
Oh, low, right. Thank you. So Dawson Knox 10, 107.
He's a top 5 to me.
So here's the reason he's low. And the thing is, there's reasons he should be higher. Is they lost a lot of targets, right? They lost fucking Cole Beasley, who was integral, dude. He had those games with 11 targets. Okay, they lost Emmanuel Sanders. Say what you will about him, Emmanuel Sanders.
So these are all good things for now.
Okay, there's the one negative, and this is a guy I love, even though he's not going to have that role right away.
It's a rookie.
OJ Howard. No, they brought in OJ Howard, who's only 25 years old. Yeah, he's had a couple massive injuries early on. He had like an ACL, whatever it was. Then he had Achilles.
I'm sorry for the reaction.
No, I'm just a fan of OJ Howard. Dude. He was a first-round player in the real NFL draft. Yeah. And I'm not saying OJ Howard ACL early and then Achilles recently.
Yeah.
Maybe ACL was in college, but he had like an injury
Achilles
early on. Then
early, like his first or second year, and then he's been recovering.
And then they always loved Cameron Brate. They had Gronk, so like he got buried.
Okay.
But I've always loved OJ Howard, the talent. Now the thing is, OJ Howard's actually a really good blocker, so I feel like they brought him in for depth. I'm not saying he's taking Dawson Knox's job.
Okay.
But it's a little scary, the fact they might be running out 2 tight ends, and who knows? Maybe OJ Howard, only plays 51% of the snaps for the year, but what if he catches 5 touchdowns? Those are the, Dawson Knox had, 9 last year? It was crazy, right?
Started off gangbusters.
And he got hurt, and, nice. But,
it's a weird phrase for us to...
we never really use that, but... So, that's the worry, but the nice thing is that you're attached to Josh Allen. Yeah. You're attached to that offense. They did lose all those targets I talked about. Yeah, they have Gabriel Davis kind of coming into that role, and they did bring in Jamison Crowder, and they did bring in James Cook as a running back.
Crowder's nice.
Yeah, but he's not Cole Beasley, dude. I know.
Bro,
listen, he's a better player, but Cole Beasley had that role. I don't know. Cole Beasley was a niche player. He's one of those. If you're white and you play the slot,
Crowder stays healthy. He's a 100 catch a year guy.
Well, not in this team. But,
yeah.
So no, but Dawson Knox going 107.
That's nice. That's
like.
Dawson
undervalued.
Knox, undervalued.
I took him in my first couple best balls I did way early. I took him, and I took him in another one recently. I did 2 recently.
Yeah, no, Knox is probably the best value so far.
Yeah, and I think he's not too far off from the Goedert. Like if Goedert and Knox are for me are the same, right? Same situation. Goedert's probably
what do
better
you think
player.
about Josh Allen this year?
Josh Allen.
God.
Yeah, God.
So he stays healthy. He's
should catch 8 touchdowns, right?
With the God.
Should catch 8 touchdowns.
He did last year, right?
Yeah, it might have been more, and in 13 games. So.
Yeah, he did in half the games, and then he came back and played hurt.
Yeah,
the rest of them.
All right, number 11, Pat Freiermuth, second-year player. Big fan of the player.
Yeah.
Quarterback situation sketch. They still have some receivers. They drafted George Pickens, your farmer guy you love. We got to try to get an image of George Pickens, like the image of the what's the old picture of George Pickens. Black farmer.
I like that.
Yeah, because he does something like a farmer.
Dude, that should be. I wish if that was like a sports card, I would buy Freiermuth.
So Freiermuth going 121, so it's so much later. That's about the 9th round.
See, these are the guys I like.
Yeah.
Like these are the guys. Like for me, tight end. This is where I see the value.
And what's nice when you get down this low, then you are looking for the Dalton Schultz of next year because you don't have.
You've already established your team
staff, right?
Like, it's all receivers and running
you
backs.
might want to take a guy like David Njoku or Irv Smith because you pair them up.
You can have a 4th running back, and you're taking him in the 10th or 11th.
So Freiermuth had 7 or 8 touchdowns last year.
Bro, dude's a stud.
But the problem is that Big Ben is great for tight ends because he couldn't throw the ball over 10 yards, and he's still a solid, he was still a decent, veteran red zone quarterback. Mitch Trubisky.
I'm not going to comment on Big Ben.
Not good. Right.
You already know my opinion.
Not good, Mitch Trubisky, and then we hate
Dude, better than Big Ben.
Yeah, arm talent-wise, but that's going to help the receivers more than it's going to help Freiermuth, I'm telling you.
But they also lost Juju, who was their slot guy.
Right. And what's nice about Freiermuth
and they lost James Washington, who was their other slot guy.
And the nice thing about Freiermuth, I get you, is that Freiermuth he's more of a Kittle type, he's a blocker. But he is going to be on the field, I can promise you, 90% of the play. Some crazy number, right? You know how Tomlin is. A one quarterback guy. Remember Heath Miller?
Yeah.
That motherfucker's on the field. Now, whether he's blocking or receiving, but being on the field is a thing. because the whole Kelsey thing, right? You chip a block, you block a little bit, and then you go out, and your quarterback finds you.
Yeah.
Get a couple free catches, a little screen pass, even if it's a 4-yard catch. That's 1.4 points in PPR, son.
With me, it's pretty simple. Like, when you're getting this late, I'll take the guys, even over Ertz. I'll take Freiermuth over Ertz because I want the guy that's ascending. I want the guy that is, he's part, when you think of the Steelers offense, what do you think of? Like, name, obviously Najee.
Yeah,
obviously,
that's number one. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool.
But to
The
me,
farmer,
to me, it's Najee, Claypool, then Deontay, and then Freiermuth.
Yeah, but fourth option's rough. So he's got to catch touchdowns.
No,
right?
I'm saying in terms of talent based on last
Do
year.
you like the Steelers this year more than last year?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
They made the
They get rid
playoffs
of Big
last year.
Ben.
They did make the playoffs last year, though, somehow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know my opinion on the Steelers last year. Well, I was
Steelers and the Eagles-
anti Big Ben last
The fact that Steelers and the Eagles made the playoffs last year is fucking mind blowing,
year. Yeah.
right? With some of the shit we saw,
But
some
no,
of
with
the blowouts.
Freiermuth, the way they throw the ball, because I think Tomlin is a guy that's trying to stay current with the trends.
Yeah.
So he's a player's coach, right? So the players are gonna say we need to throw the ball more,
Yeah.
coach. So they're gonna throw the ball more. So I think that Freiermuth, the fact that he's a staple of that offense, I like him more so than a handful of the guys before.
Okay, number 12, Rob Gronkowski. I can't even say his name because I was just like, what? He's not Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Gronk.
Yeah.
We don't even know if he's playing. He's probably playing because Tom's back. He's at 128. I'm out. I've been out for 2 years. I ate my words.
Not a risk I'm willing to take.
No.
I'm willing to take risk, but not that risk.
But at 12, it is a little bit juicy just based on the touchdown upside. But like they're a winning team. I say this every, they're gonna save him. Like if he does come back, why are you playing Gronk 80% of the snaps? You know what I'm saying? Save that man. Save that man.
No, Bowles is the coach now, the head coach now, because they're about, hey, we're gonna win with defense. We're not gonna make Brady have to throw us to a win.
Right.
So there's gonna be less where Gronk has 2 touchdown games. There'll be significantly less 2 touchdown Gronk games than there has been.
Long and short of it, we're out on Gronk. So here's the next tier here. We're getting outside the top 12, so we'll get this.
I still think I like some of these guys though.
Okay, I love them too. So 13, Mike Gesecki at 130. We got Irv Smith at 138. Merv, which is coming off the ACL. We love Irv Smith
Is
here.
Merv one of our guys this year?
We'll see. Cole Kmet at 15, 142. We'll do that little quick tier. So that's 3 guys.
So start with the first guy.
First guy, Mike Gesecki. I hate him. I love the player, but adding in Tyreek Hill, adding in you have Jalen Waddle, you have Chase Edmonds now receiving back. Unless Tua throws 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns, which he might, Mike Gesecki has no way to get inside the top 12. You know what I'm saying?
No, I disagree.
Really? So you like him?
I think that there's going to be so much focus on those guys on the outside because they're so fast and they're such burners that there's going to be so much over the middle. And early in the offseason, I was saying that maybe Tua was an MVP candidate. Watching him talk in press conferences, I don't see it. I don't think he has self-confidence.
No.
So I think Gesecki, I like Gesecki over, he's in the top 10 for me.
Okay. My problem is that I've just seen Mike Gesecki, maybe it's the fucking coaching in the past, disappear and have a lot of zero-catch games.
Sure. And
that scares me.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with him.
Yeah,
and
for me,
he's one of the best hands you've ever seen, right?
Yeah. Oh,
True.
In terms of hands, I mean, he's top 2 for sure in terms of the list.
What I said about the zero catches thing, he's still a safe option here because, you might have a dud, but it's tight end and you're late. So what are you talking about?
And I'm using Ertz because that means a lot to me because I'm a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
So when I say over Ertz, that's a significant statement for me, right? So I like Gesecki quite a bit.
Number 14, Irv Smith, our guy. We loved him last year.
Yeah.
I drafted him everywhere in basketball before he got hurt. Goddamn shame. But the nice thing is, it was only an MCL. It wasn't an ACL, it wasn't an Achilles, and it was before the year, so he should be 100% healthy, right?
Coach.
And
he's on the Vikings, right?
Yeah, and Adam Thielen, as much as I love Thielen, he doesn't play every game. He's 32 years old. Justin Jefferson commands
not worried about
big coverage dictation, right? He's gonna get doubled. They don't really have a great receiving back. Irv Smith's a playmaker. Remember the highlights we were watching back in the day? It was last 2 years ago. We were watching Devontae Smith and Henry Ruggs college highlights. We saw that one play. It was a fumble that Irv Smith had that one of the receivers recovered. And we're like, who is this tight end? Because Irv Smith he's only 24.
Yeah.
And he had like a 48-yard catch, and he broke like 6 tackles.
And then finally fumbled because he was trying too hard.
Right. And also, O.J. Howard went to Alabama, so similar to that. Awesome player to
No, Merv.
Loved it.
This
Loved
year,
it.
new coach Jefferson just came out saying, "Hey, we're a modern offense now."
Mm-hmm.
So
Irv Smith has top 5 upside.
So maybe
he's going 138.
Downplay Dalvin Cook a little bit because he's not getting as many receptions. Yes. I think. I like Merv.
What's nice of these guys here, if you want to punt tight end and really do, and you like, let's say you like Gesecki, right? We like Irv, and we'll talk about Cole Kmet later, who's going to be the second option in the passing game.
Sure.
These are all 3 guys. Granted, if Gronk comes back, he's at 12. All 3 guys that are going to be not drafted as starters. So you can wait and wait even more, and then
pick them up,
and then take whoever lasts the longest of these 3 guys in the fucking 13th round. And then you take another guy.
I love it.
The thing is, all these guys have upside. I feel like Gesecki has the lowest because of the target share. You know what I'm saying? He does because he has Tyreek Hill there. Okay.
No, I disagree.
But Irv Smith has a path for more volume than Gesecki.
So I think Irv Smith and Gesecki are the same in terms of they have 2. I still think of Thielen as an elite receiver.
Yeah, definitely in the red zone.
Right. So I think in terms of those, all the focus is going on those 2 guys, and you're looking at guys that can't throw well. And you're looking at who's going to be across the middle, the big target.
Yeah.
And those are the 2 guys that I'm looking at. Gesecki and Irv.
Last of the tier here, Cole Kmet. Never caught a touchdown in his career, by the way.
No shit.
Well, Jimmy Graham had like 4 last year playing limited snaps.
Well, he's gone now.
Yeah, and even if he was back, he's not like being anything. So I like Cole Kmet 142. Same as like the other guys. I don't see the touchdown upside at all because I don't know how many touchdowns we're going to have.
I mean, Justin Fields has to show out.
Value. He is clearly what I like about my tight end breakouts. For me, is I want to. The biggest thing is they need to be. Rarely is tight end going to be the number 1 option in the passing game. That's reserved for Kelsey, Andrews,
Waller,
Waller,
the
guys that are drafted top 3.
Sure.
But tight end breakouts need to be the second option, unless you're in a team like the Chiefs or these Green Bay, like these quarterbacks.
Fair enough.
So second option in the offense,
Good
you
point.
get Darnell Mooney getting doubled. Who's getting those little dump downs? Cole Kmet, son. And I think Cole Kmet could have 120 targets this year.
Okay. All
You know
right.
what I mean? Now, what those targets are, I don't know. But we're looking at tight end 15 at 142. That's undrafted. Or that's, because who's drafted 2 tight ends? Like, not many. The people that drafted 2 tight ends are the guy that drafted 13th. So I like Cole Kmet. All right, we're going to get to the next here. I have about 5 guys here. Number 16, Hunter Henry, 144. 17, Albert O. from Denver at 147. Number 18,
17.
Noah Fant, number 18 at 156.
Wow.
Number 19.
Yeah, dude, you have to wait this year for tight end. You have to.
Number 19, Tyler Higbee, who tore his ACL or whatever it was.
Bro.
And then we have David Njoku at number 20.
This might be the deepest tight end year ever.
And I'm actually going to add in Gerald Everett at 21 because he went to the fucking Chargers.
Here, someone that's not on here that you probably won't even Dan Arnold on the Jags.
Yeah.
They traded for him.
I don't even have. I took a picture of it. I don't even have him on here.
They traded for him.
Yeah. Well, they have Evan Ingram, who's listed the next guy down.
I understand that, but
right.
Well, actually, I should say this. Actually, I want to make this point.
And I didn't even mention this. Robert Tonyan got 11 touchdowns 2 years ago. Number 23.
Yeah, you have to wait. If you're drafting a tight end in the top,
especially in
10
best
rounds,
ball,
I think.
Especially in best ball.
You're right.
Pair 3 of these fucking guys. Wait instead of just taking 2 like a good.
Are you on the same page? Like you have to wait on tight end this year. Like,
unless you get insane value on a Waller.
Unless Kelsey falls in the second or third round.
You get Waller 9 picks after ADP, or you get Ertz in the 9th round. Like
Ingram too.
So let's just go Hunter Henry. That's the guy I don't like. Because we love Jonnu Smith, and there's so many guys
I still believe in Jonnu. He was hurt last year.
Yeah, so Hunter Henry, out on him. We'll go to Albert O. I'm out on him just because they did draft the guy from UCLA.
No, dude.
Greg Dulcich, they drafted.
Tell me a rookie tight end that's ever done
No. I'm just saying they did bring another guy in the 3rd
round.
round.
Saying, but tell me.
And there's all the receivers. Like, dude, you have KJ Hamler's like their 5th option, dude. I'm saying I'm out on
Albert O. Was a better receiver than Noah Fant.
He's not a good prospect. Never was. So. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
18, Noah Fant, like the player, still young. They paid him.
I'll say this.
The nice thing is they could trade one of those.
The only defense you've had where you say that the Seahawks are going to be better than the Jets is like, well, they got Noah Fant.
Well, it's nice.
So that's why I'm like, I'll do 3 to 1 because if you think Noah Fant is the reason, no, I like Noah Fant. I do.
And the thing is, he's in a similar situation.
I'm not trying to poo, but like,
I like Noah Fant. Like.
I love him there. I love him there.
156.
I love him there.
Tyler Higbee, question mark at 19, but tied to that offense at 160.
Come on now.
If you get reports he's healthy, or it's more of a late season play.
All the reports coming out is Allen Robinson's going to be the red zone guy. So who's going to be across the middle?
And then I'm going to end on these last two guys here. We can talk about we like Evan Ingram. That's a wild card. We're getting too far down. And Robert Tonyan, real quick at the end.
I'm going to put my name on Dan Arnold.
Okay. Robert Tonyan, real quick at the end at 23. Really nice upside there.
I like that.
Touchdown. Not going to get a lot of play, but that's
God bless. Who else is going to catch?
If you're in a 2 tight end league, he's a back end tight end 2.
Tell me two receivers on the Packers.
Nothing. We don't even know who it's going to be. So let's talk about Njoku. Let's talk about David Njoku at 20, who's our guy.
Wow.
We love him. And he's mostly tied to the fact that Deshaun Watson, we don't know. But if you get wind that Deshaun Watson's playing all year, and they only have Amari Cooper.
Even 12 games.
Yeah. But I'm saying imagine all year, though. Yeah. Njoku could have 12 touchdowns, dude. They just paid him for some reason. He's the 4th highest paid tight end in the league somehow.
Because Watson's practicing with these guys, so there's not gonna if he plays week 1, there's not gonna be we need to learn each other. They're already practicing together.
And then Gerald Everett. So we both like Njoku. I mean, I like Njoku at 13.
Talent's there.
Yeah, upside there. And then Gerald Everett at 21. I kind of liked him last year with Seahawks, but now he's playing with Justin Herbert. They got rid of Jared Cook. The problem is they have Donald Parham.
Herbert loves his tight end.
Yeah, but the problem is they have Donald Parham. They're going to be splitting time, so this is
Parham's
never going to be
the tall guy, right? The 6'7" guy.
He's 6'9".
That's the only reason he's getting targets.
Yeah. So he's more in a timeshare, but in terms
this guy can get open.
Super deep.
Everett can get open.
So I guess the moral of the story is tight ends are really fucking deep. We like all the guys later. We didn't like any of the guys early.
There's one guy. I mean, right around the Waller.
Yeah. There's a couple.
Hawkinson, but who was in
any of those guys where you have to draft this guy?
No.
These guys, you don't have to draft any of them. Just take whoever falls to you.
I've already done my drafts. Like I said, I'm waiting on tight ends for sure, 100%.
That's great.
Let's ride.
And it's been a complete joy.